everybody. So yesterday was my 11th session of inner dance. I think I've done a couple of online sessions myself. I've done 1 or 2 facilitations online. I've done 2 or 3, 4 in-person sessions in live. And this was the first time with somebody whom I didn't really know that well. Like I know the person, but like we didn't have like a very deep or strong connection. And she invited her friend also, so it was an acquaintance and a friend of her. So it was done at her home. We were all alone. It was so funny how beforehand there was a kind of tension. There was a kind of nervousness because in a way it was like the first time that I was really about to do this process with people that I didn't really know that well or deep. And so when we came, like I put some stones, some crystals, like a white crystal. Let me show you. Like I laid out some crystals in the room. I then laid out some shamanic cards, and then we sat down, and I said, you can take a card if you want. And I was like, immediately, the setting was almost like so ingrained in me because I've been to so many CAP sessions. I was just following that blueprint in a while. It was like, because I've done CAP sessions with 4 different facilitators. So there's like a knowing for the blueprint, what they do, how they talk, what they say, what they don't do they do an introduction. So yeah, it was just like almost like autopilot. It was just sitting there and telling, yeah, this is what you can expect to experience in the session. This is what can happen. This is what might not happen. Like all the kind of things. And they were like looking at the cards. And then I said, do you have any questions? You can go to the toilet if you want. And then I did like this guided meditation, or it happened. It's like one of the other facilitators does that sometimes. So it's just like guiding them through being centered in their body, being aware of their feelings, being aware of what's going on. Then I asked them to share with each other. And then once that was done, I asked them, just lay down and close your eyes and just focus on your breathing. Just stay in your body. Now the thing here was also, I played a song and I just asked them, like, is this too loud? Is it not too loud? Because I know from previous feedback that some people found music too loud. Like my grandmother found it too loud. My partner found it too loud. So yeah. What happened then was, it was like all the other times, different, but yet still so familiar now. It feels so familiar. Once the music starts, it's like just standing there and you see 2 bodies, right? And I just close my eyes and just breathe. And breathing happens, just aware of that. And all of a sudden there's this frequency, this vibration that's like coming in, or it's like you're tuning into that. Like my brain, like I feel like a shift of consciousness, an altered state of consciousness. And all of a sudden it's like my eyes go open and I'm in this flow, this energetic flow where it just like intuitively, there's a seeing of the bodies and there's an intuitively knowing, you need to go there and place hands on the knee or on the feet. And then, so you go to the feet and you hold the feet, and then sometimes there's like images. Sorry, there I got interrupted. There was a phone call for a hot air balloon flight. It's like I got this voucher, and I've been wanting to go for a while, and now all of a sudden today they just called for a reservation in Bruges. So I don't know. When I think about going on a hot air balloon, like really high, there's kind of, like apprehension, like, ooh, it's a bit scary. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll go or not, but I'll let you know. Anyway, oh, I have the ability now on YouTube to live stream. So if I do go on the hot air balloon, I'm gonna live stream it, right? So, right, in this session, it's like you're intuitively guided to go to the feet, to the hands. You don't know why, but you just like, it's intuitively, it's like drawing you, like guiding you to go there, to go there, to go there, to go there. And sometimes you just go there and just lay your hands and you feel like energy pouring through. Sometimes I get these images of like energy from the ground coming up through the body, through the hands, into the body. Sometimes from the sky, like energy coming in through the hands into the body. And I feel the warmth, the hands get very warm, like very, I feel, because there's a contrast of, you know, a person who's lying there in their skin and like the warmth of the hands. So like sometimes my mind is doubting, is there something happening? Is this like me just like imagining it? But yeah, I mean, it's just the mind reacting to what is happening. But in essence, it's just something that's happening. And it is, in a way, not my thing, or it's not the mind doing it. It's just energy using the body to do what's needed, to do what it wants to do. So at certain points, there was also like an impulse. Like I remember I was holding the feet of a woman, and there was an impulse to make a certain sounds like ha ha woo wee. But there was like this almost like shame or kind of restriction, like I don't want to freak them out, or I don't want to like. So there was that. So that's a good like mirror for me to see where I'm blocked, where I'm afraid, where I'm not allowing myself to be. So yeah, like that was interesting. At certain points while touching the feet, there was like this, or like touching here, or touching here, or touching here. Somehow there was sometimes a feeling, it's like there's like an attunement into the energy of the person, and like all of a sudden, like I feel this emptiness, and I feel the resonance, or there's a sense or a feeling of what's happening in the person. So at a certain point, maybe this is my projection, maybe this is not real, and I don't know if I should like share it or discuss it or not. It's very interesting though. It's like you get the sense of what the current state of energy or current state of whatever's being like trapped, or whatever's being like brought up to the surface, whatever's there, you get that sense, you see it. So for instance, at a certain point, there were like different senses of like feel how the person, so it was like feeling, sensing how the person felt or sensed, how there was like something that wanted to be expressed or not expressed, something that was alive but not being free range to live, to enjoy, to whatever. So there was a deep awareness of that. It was very interesting. It's very beautiful. Yeah, and at certain points, while I was sitting there, I was like holding their hands together, and like my mind was like thinking, should I let them hold hands together? Should I let them get up and look at each other? Because sometimes that's done, but it's just my mind. Like the thing that I learned doing this is like, just stay in the heart, and don't overthink it. Sometimes you just went to feel the pulse of the body, and then by feeling the pulse, you connect to the vibrational, let's say, language of what's happening in the body, the blood, the rhythm, all of that, the electricity, the magnetism. I'm not explaining it 100% correctly, but because I still have to go through the material, but it's yeah, it works. Just like you go and you hold the pulse and you tune into the pulse and the rhythm and the vibration, and somehow there's a sense, like you sense and you feel into it, and like somehow you get a new impulse to to do. Like sometimes just standing over the bodies, and there was like, could see like these energy cords going into the body, like doing something, moving energy. And at a certain point, I was standing up, like I was standing and looking at them, and there was this feeling of, what now? What now? What now? It was my mind reacting, my mind thinking something should happen. So at a certain point, I was just sitting there doing nothing, having my own inner dance. At certain points, when I heard that the music was too loud, like I put it a little bit softer, a little bit higher. I realize now that it's a really good idea to maybe get some instruments, like those shamanic instruments. Like there are different kind of instruments. Sometimes I was fluting. Fluting was not a problem, or clapping, you know, going around clapping. Whenever like a person was like sitting like this, at a certain point I moved their feet a little bit, or point, there was this sense of like, okay, this is going on for long enough now. So I skipped a little bit to the end. And you know, whenever like you see the bodies, like they don't move a lot, and now my mind is like, oh, they don't move a lot, so maybe nothing is happening. But then it's like, oh, but maybe they're not sensitive, or not super sensitive, or their energy isn't super active. Like, don't project, don't overanalyze. And then at a certain point, I asked them, because another facilitator does this, I asked them, you know, to come back into their body, feel their heartbeat, and you feel this sense, this shift. Like during the session also, whenever like there was like a shift in breathing, or like somebody's like, like doing this, my mind is like, oh, something happened. What happened? Something happened. Was it reaction to what my hands were doing? What happened? So it just like gradually adapting to the whole process, trusting the process, trusting the energy. And then in the end, I asked them to, when they open their eyes, turn up on their belly and look at each other, and just stare at each other for a while. And then I used some Palo Santo, and I said you can get up, you can go to the toilet, you can sit, you can lie down, and if you want to share something, share. And then they shared, and it was really beautiful. I think I can share. Like one woman, she talked about how her experience was very, yeah, she felt, she said this thing like, when you put your hand on my belly, like you have such energetic hands. Like I could feel how the hands were moving through the layers of aura, through the energy. Like you have really energetic hands. It's like when you put your hand there, I could feel my solar plexus chakra, or the sacral. Anyway, one of these two chakras. I could feel it really hard. And yeah, I could feel so many blocks in the body that were there, and that were just clearing up. It's like I feel like things have been clearing up. I feel like, yeah, just like clearing up. It was really awesome. It was really, and then the other person, she said, whoa, for me it was completely opposite. She's like, I felt a certain kind of emptiness. And whenever ego was touching me, I felt like there was energy filling me up. And they laughed, and then they started to talk about it. And I was like, whoa, they both felt something, and they both have an experience, because I didn't say at the beginning, sometimes some people, like in CAB, they say this, like 10% doesn't have any, isn't like sensitive or reactive to it. But apparently something happened, and they did experience something. And then this woman, the second woman, she talked about her situation, and she talked about feelings that she had. I was telling them about what to do as an aftercare, like be in your body, take a bath, go for a nature walk, write, meditate, do yoga, do dancing, drink a lot of water. Things might come up, and give yourself time to digest, to to allow the process to unfold. And then she started to go into her feelings, and she started to cry. She started to cry, and she went really deep into her feelings. Like, I'm not going to say what it was about, but at a certain point, it was very interesting, because I realized at that moment I could intervene, and I could like guide her to solution, like give her my opinion, my thoughts, all of that. But what I did instead was I just stayed, and I just stayed aware and looked at her, not too intensely, looked at her, kept just being there, present, just being there. And I realized it's not my responsibility to fix her emotion or her confusion or change her process. Whatever she's going through, whatever she's having, this emotion, these things that are bubbling up, it's okay. I don't have to tell her what to do or what not to do, what it means or doesn't mean. It's like, it felt so like right not to intervene, not to step in and say, you should do this, you need to do this, you need to figure this out, you need to do. And just staying like neutral, like an observer almost. And yeah, it's really nice. So all flowing, really. And then I was gathering my things, and her husband came home. He's like, oh, hey, so you're Igor, how was it? I was like, yeah, ask them, how was it? I gave them a hug then, and then I went on my way. Like, this session, I really felt what it's like to sit on the other side, because I've done so many sessions as a participant, and now all of a sudden it's like a session where I was not a participant, but I was on the other side. And I must say, the only difference is what's happening inside of you. Like, honestly, like both as participant or facilitator, in both situations, the energy is working through you, and the energy is unfolding a process. But what one is, it's like your relationship with the people changes, or like the way people interact with you changes, because all of a sudden it's like going back and forth with you, and you have to almost like lead or guide or give the pace that they have to follow. So it's like you're laying these breadcrumbs, and they follow. They, like the meditation, the session, going in the session, going out the session. It's like you're setting the mood. You're facilitating the space. It's a very interesting feeling. But like, because you were in the role of, well, you were not a participant, or let's say you, in a way, we're all participants, because the energy is just using us in different ways. But I noticed that the energy, when it's using you as a facilitator, it's like there's more of a neutrality, of a presence, of like, it's so alive, it's so intuitive, so like in the moment, like Tai Chi, like like just moment by moment, energy, like a spontaneous inner dance of stillness, of different waves. Whereas if you're a participant and you're lying down, there's so much happening, coming up, emotions, unraveling things. So yeah, really grateful for that. So I guess the next thing is to do it with a large group. I wonder how that would be like, because I noticed with one person you give a lot of attention, so there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of work. With two people, it's like going back and forth, working with a person here, working with a person here, working with a person here. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Also, I noticed my smell. Like, I noticed my own smell. So it's like, maybe to neutralize my smell, I'll cover myself up in some scented oil, or some cream or whatever. So there's a nice smell, because it was a bit of sweat, I think. maybe it wasn't, I don't know. And then at a certain point, I just felt like this going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And like one of the participants, she said, you know, I noticed you were doing a lot of things, but it was not symmetrical. So it's like there, something there, but it was not symmetrical. I was like, I don't know. I wasn't doing anything. Because they asked me like, how was it for you? I'm like, honestly, it's like, just tune into an altered state of consciousness and everything's happening by itself. I'm not doing anything. I'm not moving the hands. I'm not touching. I'm not giving energy. I'm not healing. I'm not doing anything. It's all happening, whatever the energy wants to happen. So, yeah. Yeah, looking forward to do that group facilitation. Thank you so much.